Hello, Steve White, Trekboy89 for Steve Arts89. Well, looks like more bad news for the fourth Star Trek film. There's talk that Paramount Plus is going to be producing a Kelvin timeline TV series. Now, when I first saw this article at Giant Freaking Robot, I thought they said Kelvin Universe, and I'm like, but all the new Trek series are in the Kelvin Universe. Discovery, Strange New Worlds, Picard's, they're all in the alternative universe, the alternative prime universe. They're not in the same universe as the original series, animated series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, blah, blah, blah. So I was a bit confused, and then I realised, they're talking about that Kelvin timeline, because they established in Discovery that they're in the prime universe, and the Kelvin timeline is just another timeline in that universe, but they're actually in the same universe. That's canon, it's in the episode. But I thought they were talking about the same universe. I'm like, what? And then I realised, they just mean the timeline, of course. They can do one in the timeline. But what that means is they've basically given up on the film. Now, when they first started the films, I thought they would do a Kelvin timeline TV series after they finished the first three films. But instead they did Discovery because they had rights issues with Bad Robot and Paramount and everything, and they couldn't actually legally do a Kelvin TV series, but they couldn't do an original canon series either, so they made up Discovery as actually being like a third universe, but they've sort of morphed it into the Kelvin universe now, so it sort of belongs to that, but it's just a big mess. But the idea of doing a Kelvin TV series really means they've given up on the film, because there's no way they're going to be able to get funding for a film if they've got it on TV. Because why would you go to the cinema to watch a film when the last three films didn't do well and it's on TV? You've already got Star Trek on TV competing, which was something that they legally couldn't have at the time when they were doing the first three films. That's why Discovery was delayed a year and didn't come out in time for the 50th anniversary like I think they originally planned. And the rights were just a mess, and I don't get how this is going to work. I mean, unless they've given up on doing a fourth movie, it makes no sense. If they have given up on doing a fourth movie, then it makes sense, because this is the only way they can tell stories from the Kelvin timeline, by doing them on Paramount Plus in miniseries or limited series or specials or something, because they can fund that themselves. They can do that. They can funnel money from one show to another like they did with Picard and all that, because they own and operate the whole thing, so they can do whatever they want. But it's just a bit sad. It means they've given up on the movies. It means there will be no more Star Trek films, which is it's sad, except for the fact that the Kelvin films weren't great. One was a great origin story and start off an introduction to people who didn't know Star Trek. Into Darkness was a totally regressive, reductive, redundant mess. Beyond was good, except that they took out a couple of key elements that really made it not that enjoyable as a Star Trek film, like taking out the Enterprise, making it planet-bound. A few things. They made a few mistakes. They did a few things right, but they made a few mistakes. So, and then because they had the bad word of mouth and bad faith from Into Darkness, which a lot of people didn't like, no one really came out to see the film, so it didn't do well, and that's why they couldn't fund the fourth film, even though they got had got Chris Hemsworth and that too. Apparently he was going to be in it. They still couldn't get the funding, and it looks like they can't get it now. They've been trying to get it. They keep putting out these different versions. They said they were doing the film before they even had the film, because they have this idea that if they just say it and get attention for it and get clicks and views and people talking about it, then they'll be able to get someone to fund it. They can fund it, they can make it obviously, but they can't fund it. So it looks like it's not going to happen. It looks like they're just going to give up and do a Kelvin TV series. So that'll be, I don't know if that'll be interesting or not. I don't know if anyone wants to see the Kelvin Star Trek's characters on the small screen. I mean, part of the appeal of the movies were they were big giant movies. And you kind of could forgive the fact that the films weren't very Star Trek because they were a big event. If they're not a big event and they're just not good Star Trek, I mean, not that Picard or Discovery are good Star Trek, and Strange New Worlds is struggling to not just copy and paste original Star Trek stuff, which is where they've sort of fallen, where they could have been really unique and they're just sort of regurgitating a lot of the original Star Trek stuff. They're doing it better than Discovery and Picard, and they're doing it with some energy and lightness and the correct tone and everything, but they're still not really boldly going anywhere. They're just sort of redoing stuff, it's all a mess. And I'm just thinking, how is a Kelvin series going to fit into that? And who's going to want it? If people don't want to go to the movies, and these characters and that story really only works on the big screen because it was a big event, how are they going to sell it on the small screen when they've got Kirk and Spock on Strange New World? It's a mess. Unless they're just going to do something in that universe with another crew. I don't know. Maybe it's just a rumor. Maybe they're just making it up. The other speculation is that they're going to do a Voyager series. So who knows? I'm going to go.